guys, so these are the cards that I'm using for the weekly reading, the 21st of October through to the 27th of October 2019. So that's Monday the 21st through to Sunday the 27th of October. What cards am I using? I'm using for the week ahead check-in. What I'm using is the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin. I'm also using the Urban Tarot. This is it's a deck that I've had for a few months actually. It's more a kind of, I don't know what they call it. It's not so much based on the Rider-Waite, I think. I think it's based on something like, do they call it the Pip or the Marseille, something like that? But it's not based on, it's not particularly Rider-Waite, I don't think it's based on. But yeah, it's by Robin Scott. Beautiful deck. We're going to use this today. Usually I just read, if I don't read kind of Rider-Waite, I just read intuitively what I see. And we also use the Grand Tarot Luxe by Ciro Marchetti, definitely one of my favourites. And advice comes from the Art of Life deck by Charlene Livingston. Okay, for your work and your love reading, we use the Dark Mansion Tarot as usual, and we're going to be using a lot of these for the thumbnails. And also for your advice for both your work and your love and also your finance, we use the Tea Leaf Fortune Tarot cards, but we're using the Astral House cards from this deck. We are going to use perhaps some of the cards, the normal tea leaf cards underneath those, but we'll also probably use the answer deck as well underneath some of those Astral House cards. All right, that's it, guys. Enjoy your reading. Hi guys, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your week ahead reading. Just to let you know how the reading's going to go, we do your weekly check-in first. Then we have a look at more specifically your work, stroke finance, and we also have a look at your love life during the week. If you'd like to see a particular reading, so if you'd like to only look at your work reading or only your love reading or maybe just the general reading, timestamps are below. So you just click on the time and it will take you straight through to the reading that you want to view. I'd like to say, guys, thanks ever so much for joining me this week for your reading. And yeah, sit back, relax and enjoy. Right, so Pisces, let's have a look at who you guys are in the week. You are showing as being, wow, the Magician. That flips right out, upright. When you're the Magician, it's a nice card. It's a nice thing to be because you're a creative force, number one. Filled with lots of vision is the Magician energy. But it also means that you have the power, you've got the skills, you've got the abilities, and you've got the talent to make all sorts of things happen. So, for example, you may be really good at kind of advertising, that type of thing. You might be a real kind of clever clogs when it comes to doing eBay and it comes to doing, Amazon and it comes to doing Instagram and Snapchat and YouTube and all these things. And it might be that you've got some real skills when it comes to online marketing of goods and things like that. It might be that you've also got, equipment, or you've got resources that you can kind of market something online, or you might be about marketing yourself, because the Magician is a presenter. So when you're the Magician, you're presenting yourself to the world, or you're presenting things to others, and you're showing what you have, you're showing what's in your arsenal, that type of thing with the Magician energy. So you're definitely in a place of great power this week, and because you're the Magician upright, you know it, you believe it, you understand it, you trust it, and you're probably using it to great advantage, because what happens with the Magician, he always uses what he has to his own advantage, but it's usually by presenting it to others. So sometimes you can get the Magician showing up in a reading and he can show as being a little bit of a liar, a trickster sometimes, but he's just using what he's got to his advantage. This can be this can be the swift talker, but this can be the person who's trying to get someone to go out on a date with them. This, because he's ruled by Mercury as well, so he's really good at communication. He's really good at email and text message and vocal. He knows how to say all the right things. Usually it's a bit of bullshit, if I'm being honest with you, with what the Magician said, but it's all about saying the right thing. So when you're the Magician, you have great powers and you have great skills to create some form of a new reality that benefits you. What is the reason for you being the Magician? Well, probably because of work. Knight of Coins. Some of you guys, it might be, but I think that this is more about you building something here, because the Knight of Coins is the builder of the tarot. So usually when you get the Knight of Coins, he's building like an online business, or he's building, it doesn't have to be an online business, it's just that I say that because everything is online these days, but he's the builder. So this is somebody who's building a dream, for example. So you're using your tools and you're using your skills and your abilities and your intelligence and your intellect with the Magician energy this week, Pisces, to build something with the Knight of Coins, whether this be a build, a business or a new creative venture with the Knight of Coins. He is the builder of the tarot, and you're using all of the resources and skills you have to do that. What is your goal? Seven of Swords in the reverse. I don't think it's meant to be reverse. I've obviously laid the cards in the wrong way. Oh, I hate it when I do that. I lay them down the wrong way. Right, Seven of Swords. So in this particular deck, this isn't naturally the Rider-Waite system. This deck doesn't adhere to. It's the Urban Tarot. It doesn't adhere to the Rider-Waite. But the Seven of Swords is loopholes. The Seven of Swords is more strat. And I'm going to read it that way. I don't really care if it doesn't follow. I'm just going to read what I feel this is saying. So the Seven of Swords is about a strategy for me. So this is all about how we overcome loopholes and problems and how we get around stuff and how we, overcome obstacles. So it might be one of the themes of this particular card in this particular deck is about overcoming obstacles or having obstacles or that other people put in your way. So this might be something to do with red tape, for example. This might be something to do with what is allowed and what is not allowed, and this might be something to do with Hierophant stuff, for example, rules, regulations, that type of thing, written down rules, written down regulations. So say, for example, you guys this week were the Magician because what you were creating here was an online business or a lifestyle business, and it required you to maybe set up a website and get a few customers. Well, it might be with the Seven of Swords, your goal is to overcome any obstacles, because the Seven of Swords in this deck is all about the obstacles that you might face, is to overcome any obstacles that you might face to making this dream a reality, to starting to build on this dream, starting to build on this reality with the Magician energy. Because you're using your skills and your talents of the Magician energy to build something for the future here, Pisces. But we need to overcome the obstacles of the Seven of Swords that might stand in the way of us doing that, okay? And that might be something legal, because swords represent legal stuff. So this might be something like legislation, that type of thing, red tape. What is the... That's your goal. What is the obstacle you need to overcome? The Aeon. What the hell is the Aeon? I think that is that Judgment. Let me just have a look. Sorry, I forgot that it had different names for different cards. I think this might be Judgment. For me, this looks like self-judgment. If you look at her, she's looking in the mirror, or she's being reflected as a woman with a bag, but then she's reflected on this side. She's showing us her true self here, where she's got jeans on and a top. It's all very uniform here, but then what her true self is when she looks in the mirror is a woman who's very much an individual, who's very individualistic. I almost feel here, I think this is Judgment. Let's have a quick look at what this is actually. So we've got this is a major card, but I just need to, because I think it's Judgment it reads as. So we've got let's have a look. So the Aeon, I've just found it. So the Aeon is about seeing yourself and your life as a part of a greater cycle of time. It is about looking at your place in history and trying to see yourself through the eyes of those who came before and those who are yet to come. In many traditional tarot decks, the 20th card is called Judgment. Yes, it is the Judgment energy. But for me, and I've just read a little bit of that, but I don't really like going with the book when I look at readings. I like going with my own intuition interpretation. All I'm seeing here, I'm just going to pick this up here a moment, is, can you see, look, can you see when she looks at a reflection of herself, Pisces, how she's got a dress and a bag? But when she's here, she's more traditionally dressed. And it's almost like in the outside world, in reality, this is all about having to adhere to a tradition, having to adhere to the status quo, which is the dark clothing here that she's wearing. She's in glass, she looks very conservative. But here, she looks far more kind of individualistic in this dress and the belt and the bag and the shoes. She looks very different here to me. And this almost feels like the obstacle you need to overcome is whether you're going to follow a traditional path in terms of maybe how you present yourself, how you present this new creative venture? Or are you going to remain individual, and are you going to kind of do things maybe very differently? So I think that that's the obstacle that you need to overcome almost with the Judgment energy, because Judgment often represents the need, but this is self-judgment, but not in a bad way. Judgment often represents the need to reflect on one's deeds and whether one's deeds are going to bring about the rewards that one is looking for with the Judgment energy. But this is also, for me, Judgment is all about following your your life purpose. It's also about heeding the call, or heeding some form of voice that is speaking in your ear in terms of what you need to do. But it's also about being at a crossroads and needing to make a really informative decision. And for me, I'm going to go along those lines, Pisces, where I feel that the obstacle you need to overcome is that you are at a bit of a crossroad. The crossroads is, do I do things in a far more traditional way, i.e. do I present myself, do I present what I'm doing in a more traditional, authentic, it's not even authentic, both ways are authentic, but do I present myself and what I'm doing in a more traditional way, i.e. dressed all in black, very uniform like everybody else? Or do I do things differently, and do I present myself on what I am doing in a very different way? So you're kind of cross between, do I do things in my way, or do I do things in kind of their way, if that makes any sense? What could you be achieving by the end of the week? Well, you've got the this is what card on here is called Six of Cups is called pleasure on here. And for me, I think that what you could simply be achieving here is doing things that you enjoy doing. So when I look at this version of the Six of Cups, because it's not got children on it, it's just two people entangled in a very pleasurable act, I feel that what's happening here, Pisces, is what you could be achieving by the end of the week and going into the subsequent weeks is that you're just doing this the way that you want to do it, the way that gives you pleasure, the way that makes you feel good. What is it that you need to avoid? You need to avoid the Six of Coins. I think that you need to avoid trying to please everyone, because the Six of Coins is about somebody who has to give to everyone. Everybody's got their hands out. Everybody's got their begging bowl out. This person's trying to give to everyone. They're trying to please everyone. But I think that you need to avoid trying to please everyone with the Six of Coins energy showing here. Could also be something to do with paying money out as well with the Six of Coins. But to me, this just looks like, because to me, this is you. And I think that this is you giving to everyone. So Six of Coins isn't always about money. Sometimes this is simply being generous to others, being supportive of others, being understanding of other people's needs. And I think that you need to avoid kind of trying to please other people, all right, with this Six of Coins energy. Trying to serve, because coins are all about servitude too. So you need to probably avoid trying to serve other people's needs as well. Everybody's needs, because you'll only be able to serve a certain amount. That's the thing. You can't please everyone. What do you need to embrace? The Nine of Cups energy. So the Nine of Cups energy is all about contentment and pleasure again. So I feel that you need to embrace, it's more about personal pleasure, because nines are about the personal. So I think that you need to embrace that you need to do things that bring you personal pleasure on this particular journey. I think you need to embrace that you need to do things that bring you personal happiness and pleasure, because here I think that you're trying to please everyone and everything here, Pisces, but I think that you need to embrace that you have to do things that give you personal pleasure with the Nine of Cups energy. If you need advice and support, where can you go? Oh, you can go to the Ten of Swords. I think that you can go probably to someone who has, because the Ten of Swords can also mean to surrender to, because this person's not fighting back. All right, so maybe you need to go to someone who surrendered to other people's advice. Maybe you didn't serve them well with that Ten of Swords energy, because the Ten of Swords is also where you surrender. You just lay down and let other people hurt you. So maybe you need to go to someone who's kind of been surrendered to other people. And because here, what's interesting about this reading, Pisces, is that here the obstacle that you need to overcome is about being at a crossroads. So in one way you could do things the very traditional way, and I suspect that this is what this person did. They surrendered to everybody else's ideas, and they did everything the way that uniform, because can you see how this person's clothing is very uniform? So the first word that comes to mind on this judgment, the AI on card is uniformity. And when you're uniform, you're doing everything the way that everybody else does it. But the lady in the reflection doesn't look particularly uniform. She looks very different. She looks like she's dressing very differently. We know a lot of people in society tend to wear black, you know, and black is a very acceptable, mundane colour. But here she's quite brightly dressed, bag, you know, belt, that type of thing. And it might be that you need to get support and advice more than likely, more than anything, especially if you're at the crossroads. Do I do things the way that it's always been done, or do I do things the way that, you know, other people is acceptable by others, or do I do things in my own way? And it might be you need to go to someone who decided that they would take the advice of others, but it didn't quite work out for them. And I think that this reading keeps saying to you, Pisces, that, you know, you need to do things, especially with the Nine of Cups and the Six of Cups here, both cards indicating personal pleasure. You need to do things in terms of the way that, in terms of what pleases you, what brings you personal pleasure. And I think it's going to give you personal pleasure maybe to do things in your own way, because you are the magician, and the magician is a creator, and he tends to do things in his own way. That's the thing with the magician energy. He does tend to do things in his own way. Okay, and I think that with the Seven of Swords, well, your goal is to overcome opposition with that Seven of Swords energy. All right, it's called futility on here, which in a way is like, well, what's the point in doing this? So you know, your goal is really to overcome. It's almost like it's an overcoming card as well, but it feels to me like your goal with the Seven of Swords energy is to not only to find a good strategy in which you're building whatever this thing is, but it's also to kind of avoid or to overcome any type of opposition to what it is that you do. Let's quickly get this reading again then, Pisces. What I'm seeing for you guys for this week, Pisces, is this. You are the magician. You are completely in charge. You have the power. You've got the skills. You've got the talents. You've got the knowledge. You've got the intellect. You've got the know-how. You've got every damn thing. You've got the resources. You've got every damn thing that you need to start building. Now, the Knight of Coins could be that you're building a business. It could be a business that's strict, you know, it's a traditional business, as it were. It might be an online business with the Knight of Coins. It could be any business. It might be some form of, you know, a business venture, that type. But you're harnessing with the Hermit, with the Magician. If you look at the Hermit, he's got everything kind of up in the air, you know. He's bringing everything up. This is him harnessing his power. So this is all about you guys harnessing your power of intellect, knowledge, talent, craftsmanship, all of those things in order to start building something for the future, because the Knight of Coins is the builder of the tarot. All right, now your goal is Seven of Swords, to work out a particular strategy and plan ahead as well with the Seven of Swords. So it's all about your goal being to plan ahead, but also to work out a strategy in how you're going to accomplish that Knight of Coins. It might also be to stand firm in the face of opposition as well with the Seven of Swords energy. The obstacle you do need to overcome is that I think that you're caught between two paths. I think on the one hand, you're saying, whatever I'm building here, should I keep it more traditional? Should I present myself in a more traditional way? Especially if this is something that you have to present to a company or a panel of people or something like that. Might be, well, how do I present this? How do I present myself in a more traditional way? Or do I present myself as I truly am? Because when we look in the mirror, we often see who we truly are. She's looking in a mirror here, really, to all intents and purposes. So do I present myself as a very traditional, very mundane, very samey type of, you know, individual who's representing the business? Or do I present the business or whatever this thing is as being this? Very different, very unique, because it's unique clothing, very unique, as my own thing. Is this going to be too kind of left of centre, left of middle? Is it going to be too? And I think there's genuine concerns here. But I think that what you could be accomplishing by the end of the week is pleasure. And I think that pleasure is simply doing this in a way that serves you, that makes you feel good. Avoid trying to please everyone. I feel with the Six of Coins, this is more about just trying to please everyone. Everyone's got their cap in hand, their hand out and saying, give it to me, give it to me. And you're kind of like, well, okay, let me try and serve you. You can't please everyone here, I think, Pisces. And I think that what you need to embrace is that you have to just feel good about it yourself. Because nines are all about the personal. So what you need to embrace is that this needs to, first and foremost, give you pleasure rather than trying to please everyone else. And this could be what this judgment energy is here, where the obstacle you need to overcome is doing things that please others. You know, being more traditional, more uniform, or doing things with this different clothing in the mirror that pleases yourself, that's more unique and different. If you need help and advice, support, go to someone who probably listened to everybody else, who lay down and let everybody else dictate to them. because probably they've not been able to make a success of what they've done. But this would more than likely be unsuccessful. If this person has done exactly what you're doing, it could be with the Ten of Swords that you need to go to them, because what they did was they adhered to everybody else's words with that Ten of Swords energy. They lay down, they surrendered, and they didn't fight for what they wanted. Hence, they're now doing something that doesn't give them much pleasure. All right? So just this for me is all about learning a lesson. Go to someone that you can learn something from, because I think it will benefit you well. Let's have a quick look at what the advice is, Pisces. Universe Spirit, what is the advice you have for Pisces on this reading? What is the advice that you have for Pisces on this reading? Please show me. The advice, Pisces, is the Death card. Death twitches in my ear. Live, he says, I am coming. So yeah, it's a really interesting. I really like that. I think the advice is you've just got to live. Because, you know, you're a long time dead. Do you see where I'm coming from? You've got to live. He said, live, he says, I am coming. So he says, just live. And I think in this reading, you've just got to do things in the way that you feel best. This isn't about serving other people's needs. This is about serving your own. The Nine of Cups is about pleasing yourself. The Six of Coins is about pleasing others. All right. So this is all about pleasing yourself instead of trying to please others. And it says here, it says it. Live, he says. Death says, live. I am coming. So you've just got to live. And I think that if you're living your best life and you're doing things the way that give you pleasure, you're doing things in a way that will give you personal pleasure, and it's not about others, I think that that's probably the line that you need to be going down here. All right. All right. We're going to come back with your work reading. Bear with me. Okay, so Pisces, let's have a look at work. What do we see? So for your work, what we've got is, it is Temperance is reversed. I do feel that when you get Temperance reversed, there's a lack of cooperation in a work reading often. So I'm seeing lack of cooperation, possibly coming from, you got that good old Magician again, lack of cooperation from a Magician. All right, this is somebody who's got their own vision, their own ideas, is the Magician. So I'm seeing a lack of cooperation coming from a Magician here, showing up here. I think this person's got some really big ideals showing up here. I'm just getting the impression with the World and the Magician. The Magician is somebody who's very much an individual. They've got some amazing vision. This person has a great vision. The World energy, this is like this huge goal, this major vision, this major goal happening here. And I think that there's somebody here who will not cooperate with you, probably for those reasons showing up there. Oh, wow. They want to fulfill this as well. This person's got a vision here, a goal, okay, with the World energy. This is accomplishment. You've got two cards represent accomplishment, but this is something about being fulfilled. So I feel that there's a lack of cooperation coming from a Magician. Somebody who with the World energy has this major goal that they want to accomplish or fulfill with that Sun energy, probably by the end of the year. Two of Cups is reversed. It's funny, isn't it? You've got Temperance reversed, Two of Cups in the reverse. So I think that some of you guys in work this week, and probably in the next few weeks if it doesn't happen this week, I think you're falling out. I think there's a disagreement happening here with the Two of Cups energy reversed, Pisces. It feels to me there's a lack of cooperation coming. You're disagreeing with someone here, a lack of cooperation, excuse me, with the Temperance energy, with a Magician. This is somebody who's very self-absorbed, I think, in this reading here. This is somebody who has a vision, a major vision with the World energy, a major goal, a major vision here that they want to accomplish with the Sun energy. And I feel with the Two of Cups in the reverse, this is something that you're not in agreement with. So let's say that you have a lack of cooperation from a Magician. This is someone who has this amazing vision with the World energy. There's a goal that they want to accomplish and fulfill with the Sun energy. And I just think that you're not in agreement with this. You're not in agreement with this. Let's have a look. The Tower. So the Tower is all about leaving, breaking away, a sudden shift, that type of thing. The Tower. The Devil reverse. I think that with the Tower energy, I think that this is breaking away from this individual for you guys. He's going to release some of the stress with the Devil in the reverse of this situation. Ace of Coins energy. So Ace of Coins is money or reward. Ace of Coins energy. Two of Coins. I'm seeing you guys having to manage your money. So this could be financial transfer as well. Two of Coins, financial transfer. Ten of Coins energy. So Ten of Coins energy. But actually, you know, because this is okay, because this is work, okay, the Ten of Coins is the building. I'm seeing a transfer. Ace of Coins, it might be that you are presented with a transfer, or there's an option here with this Ace of Coins for you to transfer, maybe department, because the Ten of Coins is the building. I don't see leaving a job, but I'm seeing there's an opportunity with the Ace of Coins energy that may be presented for you to transfer Two of Coins in the building, or transfer, you know, a transfer here. Two of Coins is often the transfer card showing up here. Ten of Coins would be maybe the building, for example, within the work. So the Ten of Coins can be the work family. So it's almost like there's a transferring, you know, work family or transferring department or something like that. And this is why I think that you've got breaking away from this person is going to relieve any of the stress. Because I do think that you guys are going through stress with an individual here, Pisces. Number one, you can't get on with them. There's no but the cooperation, I think, Pisces, it's not about you. I think it's about them. I think this Magician here, I'm getting somebody who's really, I don't want to say that they're big for their boots. I just think that this person has a really big ideal and vision for the future. With this Magician and the World energy, I think they've got this major ideal that they've got for the future. And it might be that this, and I think it might be, I don't know whether it's it might be a project that you're working on with this person. It might be that this is just a colleague that you're working with. But I just feel with that Temperance in the reverse, that, you know, this Magician, I don't read it as you. You might be dealing with a Gemini or a Virgo potentially here, Pisces. But I just feel there's a Magician. And I don't think that they're all talk and all the rest of it. But I do feel that this person is very different. They're very much an individual, because Magicians are. So there's a person around you who's very much, I think, an individual. I think that this person has a real kind of vision and has an intention with this Magician energy to accomplish a lot of stuff with the World energy. And this is an accomplishment, so it's accomplished great things with that World energy. And they want to, you know, they want to achieve this with the Sun. This Magician could also have a great vision to accomplish something. Could be by summer 2020 with the Sun energy. But I just get the impression that you're not in agreement with this. You don't agree with whoever this person is. It's either that you don't agree with the fact that they're not helping you out because they've got their own things that they're doing, or maybe this is something that you're working on with this person, but they're not looking to do things. They don't have the same kind of vision and direction as you do. You've got completely two different directions in terms of how you bring, you know, maybe a project. Maybe you're managing a couple of projects here. You know, the Ten of Coins is completing a couple of projects. So maybe this is something to do with a couple of projects that need to be completed. All right, so maybe there are disagreements here showing up because you're not cooperating, you're not getting on with a colleague. I don't see you getting on with a colleague here. So I'm seeing a lack of cooperation, though, from a Magician who wants to accomplish something great. They want to bring this to fulfillment, or maybe they want to do it by next summer or something like that. But I think that you're completely in disagreement. It might be that you have a lot of projects on that you need to complete by a certain time, which is why you're saying, no, we're not going to be. This person also might be, you might also be dealing with, Pisces, someone who is completely overly ambitious, because that's what I'm getting here as well. So I think that for some of you guys, you might even be dealing with somebody who's overly ambitious, and who's somebody who says, you know what, we could do all of this by such and such a time. Okay, by sundown maybe on Friday or something like that, we could do all of this. And it might be, you know, but we can't get this done within a month, or we can't get this done within a week, or this, that and the other. So you might be in complete disagreement with this person, because it might be that you're trying to manage a lot of projects. You need to bring a lot of projects to completion with that Ten of Coins as well. All right, so I'm just seeing that it's either that you're not getting on with someone because they're not helping you, you're not getting on with someone because you're working on a project with them, but you've got completely two different trains of thoughts as to when you're going to be completing a project or how projects are done. I feel that breaking away from this person is going to relieve the stress here. And maybe you want to plant a new seed. Maybe you want to plant a new seed. It could be from a new business partner as well. The Two of Coins, coins of business, Two of them could be two people in business together as well. It might be, you know, some of you guys, if this is like running your own business, maybe you've got problems with a business partner here because you've got a really kind of overpowerful business partner that sees things in a very different way to you than you do. And that's why you're not cooperating and getting on with them. So if this is about a business partnership or something like that, Pisces, maybe you need to think about breaking away from this person here if you want to relieve the stress of working with them. Maybe you want to plant a seed. Maybe this is something to do with advertising. Could be on the internet with that magician and the world energy. So maybe you, especially with the world, maybe you want to think about planting a seed, i.e. advertising on the internet. Could be for a new partnership. That Ace of Coins and the Two of Coins. Could be advertising for a new partnership. Okay, somebody who you get on with, somebody who you're able to actually work with for the common goal. Ten of Coins. I just feel there's somebody here you're not getting on with, and someone here you won't get on with in terms of work, whether you run your own business, whether you're working for an employee, because I just feel that somebody wants to do things in a completely different way than you do. All right, or they're not focused enough on helping you. Let's have a look at quickly at what the work advice is for the week. So your career, Pisces. Universe Spirit, what is the advice you have for Pisces in terms of career? What is the advice that you have for Pisces in terms of career, please? So the advice, Pisces, is you need to stop, look and listen. Okay, if you stop, look and listen, that it's going to bring strength. Okay, and new beginnings. Okay, stop, look and listen. Okay, it's going to bring strength in new beginnings, or strength and new beginnings showing up here. Okay, let's have a quick look at what your wealth is saying to you this week as well. We'll just change that over there. So in terms of wealth, Pisces, what do we see? So Universe Spirit, what is the advice you have for wealth for Pisces? What's the advice you have for wealth for Pisces, please? So the advice for wealth is the power. Okay, the lady, there's a powerful woman probably here, but there's some doubt around this individual. Okay, so in terms of wealth, it might be that some of you guys have a relationship, some form of connection to a very powerful woman, but there seems to be some doubt around the woman. Okay, I think that you need to have faith though. It's something about that you're going to get some money, or you're going to get a lot of money here. Yeah, so we're just going to leave it there. There's a powerful woman here, but I think some of you guys have some doubt. Maybe this is getting some money back. Maybe you invested in something that's getting money. But I think you need to have faith that actually you're going to get money back, and you'll get it back in probably droves with that greed card showing that. All right, let's have a quick look then, Pisces, at your love reading before we go. Bear with me. Okay, Pisces, so this is your love reading. Let's have a quick look. So, Six of Swords. Six of Swords in a love reading often means when you're moving on. Let's look at the next one. Two of Swords. Okay, Two of Swords, Two of Swords. You know, Six of Swords can also be communication. So this is something that's coming forward. It's moving in. I think some of you guys have blocked communication with someone, or you've blocked someone from coming in. You've blocked someone entry. If you look at the Six of Swords, it's trying to enter in there. Can you see how, like, this is a gate? Like, this is like, you ain't coming in. Because there's, can you see the swords? They're blocked. They act like as some barriers. Can you see the barriers here? Six of Swords showing here, it's trying to come through, it's trying to gain passage. I think there's some of you guys with the Two of Swords. I mean, this could be a very personal thing as well, because this is clarity, but this is not seeing things quite clearly or being faced with a decision. But this could also be somebody who's trying to communicate with you with that Six of Swords. Some of you guys might have blocked communication with someone here, Pisces. Let's have a look here. The Two of Cups. So some of you, I'm just getting with the Six of Swords and the Two of Cups either side of that Two of Swords. You guys have blocked communication with a lover, a partner, someone you were seeing, that type of thing. Let's have a look. So King of Wands. So I'm seeing, Pisces, you guys have blocked communication with a King of Wands, a partner here. But this is in the upright. It doesn't say you broke up with this individual. It's interesting because this King of Wands is still looking towards the Two of Cups. So this person is still showing interest in this. So I'm seeing you, Pisces, as blocking communication with this partner. I think there's still an interest here with the King of Wands. I think this, can you see how he looks towards the Two of Cups? He's still very interested. So this person's still very interested in being with you, Pisces, but I don't think that you're interested in being with them, and I think that you've actually blocked them out. All right, the Chariot energy showing here. So the Chariot energy is an intention, it's movement with the Chariot energy showing here. The Chariot is right behind this person. I'm seeing a very forceful individual here. I'm seeing a very forceful, because when you get wands and chariots and things like that, it shows very forceful energy. So I'm actually seeing a very forceful individual here. This person's extraordinarily forceful, and I just feel that this person will not give up without a fight. So I'm seeing a very forceful individual here, somebody who's probably been contacting you quite a bit. I'm seeing you blocking this individual this week or going forward into the next few weeks. Let's have a look at the next cards. Knight of Coins. I think that this person is quite stubborn with the Knight of Coins energy, Seven of Coins energy. I think this person is very, very stubborn. It's interesting because the Seven of Coins, if you look at this version of the Seven of Coins, but actually no, this version could look like he's got everything he wants. He looks like he's gained rewards. But it looks like this person, it almost feels like this person thinks, well, if I'm stubborn, you know, my commitment will yield results, yield rewards. Because the Knight of Coins, you can read this a couple of ways. You can read this, you can see from this Knight that the legs aren't moving. They're completely still. And usually what happens with Knights is you only have to look at the legs on the horses to see what the intention is with either Knight. So I'm just getting here, it feels like that King of Wands is very committed with that Knight of Coins. And it almost feels like their stubbornness, what they're thinking with their stubbornness is, if I just wait, if I wait with that Knight of Coins energy, it's going to bring results in from Pisces. Because Pisces is not answering my calls. They're not answering me. They've completely blocked the relationship with me. They're not answering my calls. Yet I still want Pisces. I still want this relationship. And I'm going to force them to open up to me. If I wait, they should do. It will yield results. This is all about waiting and the yielding of the results from that wait. Five of Coins energy. So the Five of Coins energy is abandonment. All right, with the Five of Coins. Let's have a look. The Three of Wands. I think that you guys have abandoned this individual and now you're reaching out to others. Three of Wands is often reaching out. Nine of Swords energy. Nine of Swords causing worry. I think this King of Wands is generally worried. I think I'm reading the Three of Wands, the Five of Coins and the Nine of Swords as them. I think it's them. What I'm getting here, Pisces, for love is somebody is still very, very interested in you, but you seem to have completely blocked them out. Feels like you've completely blocked them out to me, because what I feel that I'm seeing on the cards here is that, number one, you are the Two of Swords here with the Two of Swords energy, Pisces. And I think that you've blocked out the advances with the Six of Swords of this partner, the Two of Cups energy, who is in fact the King of Wands. Now, because you've blocked them out, you're not answering their calls. You're not listening to them. You're not replying to their messages with the Six of Swords energy. You've completely blocked out the entry off the Six of Swords. This is them coming forward, but for me it looks like you've blocked their entry. So you're blocking the passage of this person coming forward, coming towards you, okay? The Two of Cups energy is them, the relationship. So I'm seeing you blocking the relationship and blocking them entering your life. They, the King of Wands, could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It looks like they're still very interested in this this relationship with you. And it looks like with the Chariot energy, they are eager as well with the Chariot energy. They're eager. It feels to me like this person is extraordinarily eager to be back in your good books. It feels to me like this King of Wands is saying, if I stay in there, if I stay committed and if I stay loyal and in there, it's going to yield results from Pisces. Because right now, Pisces will not answer my calls. They completely blocked me out of their life. But if I stay in there, Pisces will eventually relent. The Seven of Coins, rewards for hard work if I stay in there. But I feel the fact that you have abandoned them. You've also, you've abandoned them, you've turned your back, you're probably communicating or wanting to get to know others, or you've left the relationship with the Three of Wands. I think it might be causing them severe worry and upset. So I do think there's somebody here who really cares about you. They're really upset that you've abandoned them. Let's have a quick look at what the advice is for your love on this reading. So, Universe, Spirit, what is the advice for Pisces on this reading? What is the advice for Pisces on this reading? Show me in 3 cards. The advice is greed. Okay, so greed for me is like your Ace of Cups in a way. It's the overflow card. Greed is at an end. Greed is ending. Okay, greed is ending. Challenges. Ending is a challenge. Greed is an ending. Ending is challenging though. Greed is at an end, but ending it is a challenge. I think that this greed, in terms of love, greed is at an end. And I think that this is this King of Wands. I think this person's greed, it almost feels like this person wanted it all. And that might be why you decided to, because there's a reason why you blocked this person out here, Pisces. You've blocked out any of their messages. You don't want to know what's going on with them. You don't want to know about the relationship anymore. So I think the reason that you blocked them is because this person was greedy. I think they were very greedy. And I feel that them ending their ways of greed is going to be very, very difficult. It's not your greed, it's theirs, because you blocked them out. And they still want the relationship, you know, with this, and I think that with the Chariot energy, that they are determined. They're determined as well, I think, with the Chariot energy to hold on in there, because they think if they hold on in there, it's going to bring rewards with the Seven of Coins energy. The fact that you abandoned them, turned your back, has caused them a great deal of worry here. And I think that this person is saying to himself, oh man, you know, I can't believe that Pisces let me go. I can't believe they've abandoned me and they're ignoring me. But the thing is that in love, I feel what he's saying is that you blocked them out because there was something that they were doing, their greed. I'm going to just quickly ask what they were greedy for. What was this King of Wands greedy for in two cards? In two cards, what was this King of Wands greedy for? The Ten of Swords. Okay, so they were greedy for the Ten of Swords. And I think the Ten of Swords is more about them putting stuff on you. I think they were greedy for the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords is holding you. The Chariot shows up again. So this is moving on from the Ten of Swords. So the Chariot is all about moving away from the oppressiveness. So this person really didn't want to feel held down in the relationship, because it might be with the Ten of Swords that this King of Wands had felt very oppressed within the relationship. So what they were really wanting, and I think the greed card is saying that this person really, really, really wanted to be away from the energy of the Ten of Swords. And that Ten of Swords can only be the having to settle down into a relationship with you, Pisces, you know, because some people, unfortunately, when they're having to settle down into a relationship, they feel like, oh man, this is really oppressive. I can't go out there and do what I want to do. You know, so, you know, they probably felt that like they really, really, really didn't want to feel oppressed with the Ten of Swords. They didn't want to have to feel like their hands were tied, like they were chained into this relationship of the Ten of Swords energy. And what they wanted with the Chariot was the freedom to go and kind of seek and move towards their own thing, you know. That's what they want. They wanted the autonomy, because one card is autonomous and one is not. So they were greedy for this autonomy that kind of being away from this energy would have afforded them. In other words, they really just felt quite claustrophobic whenever the idea of settling down came upon them. And I think what's happened here, Pisces, is you guys said, right, okay, if they don't want to settle down with me, if they don't want a proper adult, mature, you know, monogamous relationship, jog on. I'll block out your calls and I'll block you out as well. I don't want this relationship. I don't want this relationship. Because some of you guys don't see, the Two of Swords means don't see as well. Some of you guys do not see you guys being happy. You don't see you and this King of Wands being happy. All right, that's why you've blocked communication, because you just don't see you and this individual being happy with the Two of Swords. Probably with the Chariot, because this King of Wands was a little bit of a, you know, when you get a Chariot, they're players, okay? So it could also be that you guys have blocked communication with this King of Wands because you do not see you and the King of Wands here being in a healthy relationship, because King of Wands is a player, the Chariot. Now, this King of Wands says, oh, if I held on in there, Seven of Coins energy, I'll get some rewards here. Okay, I'll get some rewards here. But it could also be that maybe, just maybe, you guys aren't answering calls because you don't see a healthy relationship between you and this person, because the King of Wands is a player, which is what a Chariot is in terms of love as well. But also, maybe some of you guys have been waiting for a long time with the Knight of Coins energy here. Maybe you've been waiting, because the Knight of Coins is all about waiting as well. Things have been taking a long time. So it might be you don't see a healthy relationship with this person. Maybe the King of Wands was really slow, really, really slow in the relationship. You know, maybe they were slow to, you know, ask you the right questions. Do you want to get married? Do you want to settle down? Maybe this person was just really slow in terms of their their agenda for the relationship here. And maybe the Seven of Coins, this left you waiting. And maybe you guys were the upset party of the Nine of Swords, where you felt abandoned by the Five of Coins energy. Also, Three of Wands can mean that there's another person in the frame. So if you get the Five of Coins, it can represent an outsider. And with the Three of Wands, there's another person in the frame. So this could be, if you get a Three of Swords as well, Three of Swords is one person coming between two, and there's an outsider. So maybe this person had other people as well, because the Three of Wands can be somebody who's reaching out to other outsiders outside of your relationship. So reaching out to people outside of your relationship, that might be what's caused some of you guys to get really worried and decide, I don't want to answer any of this person's calls, and I don't see a good relationship with this person. But I feel that in terms of this energy here, so I've explained it as many ways as I can, Pisces, but I feel that what the universe is saying for love is that greed ending is going to be a challenge. And I think the greed is going to be King of Wands, because I think that this person's greed was all about doing what they wanted. They didn't want to feel chained by a relationship. They just want to go out there with the Chariot energy and pursue what they want to pursue. Okay, it could also be what they wanted to pursue. Knight of Coins energy. So look, I'm just going to put down I just saw another card with this. Oh, the Knight of Coins in the reverse. Maybe they felt that they were being blocked. The Knight of Coins reverse means a complete standstill. So movement at a complete standstill. So greed is at an end. Greed ending is a challenge. So greed ending. In love, greed ending is a challenge. All right, so this is, for me, the greed card is the overflow. So this is probably not greed as such. It's probably like the Ace of Cups, an abundance off. So abundance ending is, but it's called greed here. So it's almost like an abundance of thoughts and feelings, which is what the Ten of Swords is probably going to be a challenge for this person. Okay, so even if this person still wants something with you, Pisces, it's going to be really, really tricky for this person almost to change their thought processes around, because the Ten of Swords says that this person feels oppressed, and their ability to move forward or to do what they want is going to be, has been halted with the Knight of Coins reverse. Chariot is freedom, this is enslavement. So it's almost like this abundance of negative thoughts coming from this King of Wands energy. It's going to be a challenge for this person to end those things. So even if you let them in this week or in the following weeks, Pisces, it's going to be really tricky for them to end this overabundance of negative thoughts, that them being able to kind of be an individual and do whatever they want is going to be extraordinarily limited with that Knight of Coins in the reverse, because they're in a relationship with you. So I just think that you're probably dealing with the wrong person. It doesn't matter if they come back and they plead and they say, oh, please, forgive me and blah, blah, I just want this, that, and the other, because this initial thought pattern of feeling oppressed and needing to get out with that Chariot and feeling that, if they want to kind of, be free, it's going to be, if their freedom with that Chariot is extraordinarily limited with the Knight of Coins reverse, it's just not going to change. It doesn't matter what they say to you, they're still going to revert back to type and say, oh man. After a little while, they're probably just going to go back to thinking, oh man, I don't know whether I can deal with this. I don't know whether, I just feel completely suffocated. I think you're dealing with somebody who's going to consistently have suffocation issues in this relationship, and they could come back and back and back and back and say the same old thing over and over and over again to you, Pisces, but at the end of the day, it's still going to result in them still feeling suffocated in the relationship, and that's the problem. You're always going to be going back to square one, probably, with this individual. All right, that is your reading, my darlings. I'd like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe. If you'd like a private reading, just click on the link in the comment section or the end screen. Take care. Bye-bye.